I grabbed a paper towel tube and decided to create a really pretty floral arrangement. I'm going to take some of this burlap. I have some hot glue using my glue skillet. You can also just use a glue gun. And we're going to add some hot glue directly to the paper towel tube. Now we're going to take the end of our burlap, line it up, and just start wrapping. And I'm wrapping it, as you can see, really close because I don't want to be able to see the paper towel tube through the burlap. Then you can cut off the excess, continue wrapping, and then, in all honesty, you can just push the excess right back into the tube. I came back in with a little bit of hot glue and just secured it to the back of the burlap. Now we're going to work in some really pretty flowers, and today I chose the orange sunflowers. Now I'm going to take a little disc of styrofoam, as well as some moss and floral pins, and we're going to create a really cool base for our arrangement. So moss is quite messy, but we're just going to bring some of this out of the bag, place it on top of our styrofoam, and use our floral pins to keep it in place. We'll take a little bit more moss and work it in. We're going to take a little bit of hot glue and place it on the base of our paper towel tube. And as I mentioned before, I like keeping the plastic in place. And once we work this in, it's going to actually melt the plastic into the styrofoam, further securing it. Now we're going to take our flower bush and place it into the middle. And we can fluff this out as needed and adjust the flowers so that they look their best. Now I have some of these adorable little pumpkins, and to dress this up, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to place them and sit them right on top of the moss. I also have a little bit of greenery that we can just poke right into the styrofoam as well, like that. So let's stand back and show you how this turned out. And here is how it turned out, you guys, and I absolutely love it. It only cost a few dollars. One flower bush, a paper towel tube, and a couple pumpkins, and that is it. A little leftover burlap as well.
Pick up 3 foam pumpkins and 1 paper towel holder from Dollar Tree. Cut slits in the top and the bottom of each of the pumpkins and then feed the paper towel holder through the center. Take a variety of fake leaves and fall flowers from Dollar Tree and disassemble them from the stems. Hot glue the leaves around the circumference to the base of the paper towel holder and the top pumpkin. Take the flowers and hot glue them to the top pumpkin over the leaves. There you have it, a cheap way to create your own easy fall topiary for your home. I hope this inspired you to try this DIY project in your home. I'm using a galvanized pail that I got from Walmart for less than $5, and I'm going to be using some brown chalk paint from Folk Art, but you really can use just any brown acrylic paint that you want to use. We're going to be applying the paint to our galvanized pail with kind of a dry brushing kind of random stroke technique. And then from there, I'm applying some white acrylic paint, just to kind of mute it a little bit and give it a little more dimension. And then I'm just going over it with my sponge just to kind of blend it all together. And I'm going to let this get a little time to dry. And then I'm going to do this same process again until I'm happy with the overall product. So I'm just going to let this dry for a little bit, and then we will move on to our next step. So in this step, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking 3 of these cute little pumpkins that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm using just a normal paintbrush with some of my white paint. I'm just using a white acrylic paint, and then I'm just kind of brushing and really just trying to paint this pumpkin overall just full white. And we're going to do this on the other ones as well. So for this next step, what I'm taking is my X-Acto blade and I'm sawing off the stems of my styrofoam pumpkins. And after that has been completed, I am going to be sawing through my pumpkins. So I'm taking a kind of a larger knife for this project. And I just want to say, if anyone is trying to do this project, please be careful, go slow. And for my next step, I am taking a brush and I'm actually taking some Mod Podge. It's a homemade Mod Podge. So I took some tacky white glue and mixed it with water thoroughly, and I'm covering my entire pumpkin with this Mod Podge and then applying my fabric that I had chosen. Now this fabric that I have is scrap fabric that I used for several other projects in the past, but I really thought it would be wonderful for this decor that I'm creating. I've also seen this project done with paper towels. So if you have a really cute design with paper towels, you could also do that. Or if you have another fabric that you prefer, I highly recommend it. So just going around, adding a little bit here and there. And then once that part is done, I am going back over with my brush and my Mod Podge, and I'm just completely covering it until the entire pumpkin is damp. And then we're gonna let it dry. So for my next step, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking my fabric and I'm actually going to be applying it to a paper towel holder that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to be wrapping the fabric around the base of my paper towel holder and then just using hot glue to secure it. Once I have applied the fabric to the base, we are going to be bringing out our galvanized pail that I aged, and I am going to be placing the paper towel holder on top of it. And the slits that I had cut into my pumpkins before I wrapped them, I'm just using those as kind of a guide so that I can cut through the fabric so that those slits are still accessible. And from there, I'm going to be bringing out some moss that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be stacking my pumpkins on top of the paper towel holder through the slit, and then I'm applying the moss with hot glue around the areas that I kind of want to mask off, but also to really give it kind of a fun, mossy farmhouse rustic look, but also with a little bit of style. So once I've done one pumpkin, I am moving on to the next and continuing with the moss all the way up until I get to my third pumpkin all the way at the top. And I had a branch from my backyard, and then I used hot glue to apply it to the top pumpkin, and then I'm applying some more moss around the base of where I glued it. I hope this inspired you to create your own pumpkin Dollar Tree topiary for your home.
We're going to begin by assembling our base. Essentially, I'm just taking a scrap floral stem, adding some hot glue to it, and then we're going to place that on top of the brick of floral foam. After that, you can combine your two bricks. Now we're going to come back in with even more hot glue just to the back of one of these bricks. And this is the brick we're going to place on the bottom of our container. And we'll just place that right in the middle. So this container and all of the greenery you can find from nicksseasonaldecor.com. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut off a stem. And I'm going to have a piece about this long. I want my topiary to be nice and tall. So add a generous amount of hot glue to the top of your bamboo stick and poke it right into a styrofoam ball. We're going to begin by prepping our greenery. So this greenery from our website comes in plastic sleeves. We're going to just remove that plastic sleeve, and depending on the greenery that you purchase, some of it is easily able to be lifted up, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to pull this greenery to the surface. So once you pull it to the surface, what you can begin doing is just snipping off the stem. You don't actually need much stem in the end. You're only going to need about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Any more than that, it'll become really difficult to insert into the ball. Now we're going to add hot glue to the ends of our stems, and all we're going to do is simply and solely poke them right into the ball. There's no rhyme or reason for my placement. I'm just trying to create an equal shaped sphere. And you might have to come back in with a piece or two to fill in, but it's really easy to assemble these things, you guys. Very, very easy, and it's already taking shape. Look at how pretty that's already looking. So this greenery is a eucalyptus, which kind of gives the same illusion as boxwood. So I finished one side of the ball, and I flipped it over, and now we're going to do the other side. This is how the first side looks, and look at how pretty that already is. So just want to complete the ball. However, if you're placing this somewhere where you're only seeing one side of it or 3 sides of it, by all means, skip the back. So far we've used a total of 6 of these. Let's come back in with a few more to finish it up. So now that we've given this ample amount of time for it to solidify, it's not going anywhere. And notice that I already poked in a hole using the other end of the bamboo skewer. We're going to take our scrap stem with some hot glue and just apply I don't want to say a very generous amount, a very light amount of hot glue. We don't want to overdo it. A little goes a long way with keeping the moss in place. And clearly this part can become messy, but look at how pretty that already looks. So now let's work in our topiary as well as a few pumpkins. Now we have our topiary, and I'm just going to find that hole that I already made. I only went in a little bit, and now we can go in all the way. And now that's nice and secure. So now let's accent this with a few pumpkins. So as I said before, you can switch this out for each season and holiday. And an easy way to do that too is create an everyday topiary and then work in a few seasonal touches like these pumpkins. Now we can just work in a few fall leaves for some added fall decor. And you can make this as simple or as complex as you would like. So now let's give you the grand reveal showing the entire topiary. And here is how our topiary turned out. I absolutely love it. And truth be told, you guys, this was very budget friendly. You can make these for $10, $15, $20, depending on the greenery you use. Dollar store styrofoam ball, a bamboo skewer from the garden, and that is it. So very pretty and easy to change out for each season and holiday. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Nick Kretikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and you're watching me on Hometalk. See you in the next episode.